What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. We are back with another video. This video is under the Fair Use Act, and the Fair Use Act is in the description box of the video as well as the About Me section of the platform. The Fair Use Act is used to educate you guys on what we are covering on this particular platform. Please keep in mind that this video and all my videos are allegedly as well as educational purposes only. Really quick, I want to speak on young MA and her journey back to good health. I'm going to speak on Claressa Shields with all that's going on with you got signed petitions, you got petitions where people are reaching out and actually making the connection and speaking to people, and they have launched an investigation. We have Chrisean Rock getting a lot of backlash about posting online that she's giving junior therapy and how people are feeling about not seeing a professional help. But we're gonna start with this one in the middle, y'all. Gonna start with her. Gonna start with her because I feel like I want Claressa to just get it together. It is so much going on that she's in denial of even being touchable as far as her career. I'm here to tell you that people are putting in heavy work, educated people, smart people, people that have knowledge to the rules and regulations in boxing. And yet she's over there doing the most. You would think she would stay off the internet. You would think that, okay, we on vacation, we doing us, it's Remy's birthday, but we're gonna just keep something private for a change. I know these people are watching me because clearly she knows what's going on, because people in her allegedly are in and out of comment sections still calling people out their name. People are sending in the screenshots of the threats, allegedly educational purposes only, that her or the people that support her are leaving in the comment section about doing harm to people and all this different stuff. A lot of times in these cases, celebrities will get online and they will tell their fans, look, don't do that in my behalf. Look, I don't promote that. Like she's doing none of that because she's acting the same way on the internet. We've seen her directly do things, say things. We've seen them directly do things, say things. And it's like, is it worth it for you to be acting this way because people are speaking out about things that are right in front of them? I remember she said one time on an interview, she said, if it wasn't, me, nobody would be talking. Like, people call people out in real life. People call people out in real life. And a lot of times people just get from around people that are not willing to heal, that live like a life of being desperate, that live a life of allowing people to use and mistreat and justify nonsense. Because at a point in your life, when you've done your healing and when you've done the work in yourself and when you try to help other people and they just stuck in what it is for the picture or for the view of other people, then you have to come from among it because you've done your healing. And it's not healthy for you to keep on swallowing in somebody else's mess because they refuse to heal. No, you don't have to endure that with nobody because it just brings on past traumas that you've already been healed from. And you don't owe anybody that reason. I feel like Claressa needs to go somewhere and heal. I feel like she doesn't need Papoose to heal. I feel like she's healing from past stuff, as a kid. I also feel like Claressa is living a life of the child, living a life in what she never had, wanting to know all these celebrities, wanting to meet all these celebrities, wanting to have somebody that loved her. Even though they said Tony Rich loved her, it seems like Maserati really wanted to get her, but she wanted someone that was really, really not successful, because Papoose is not successful. Let's get that out there. Numbers on a platform don't make you successful. We say it all the time. That's why I don't go by numbers. That's why I don't follow all these stars, because I don't feel like nobody's better than me. I feel like, yeah, they made it. I could do it too. That's how I feel. I don't feel like I need to leech on to nobody. I don't feel like I need to hang out with celebrities allegedly, even though I know they on Uggs and doing the most. I don't need to hold up the Alizé bottle. I'm in this. No, I don't need to do none of that because what's for me is for me. So not included. For real. Like I could have been, but I'm not desperate. My family ain't desperate. My mama ain't looking for me to just go make it happen any kind of way. For the most part, we here doing what we need to do best we could with our family. Without no extra people. That's all and that's it. But it's like she don't love her family. She do things just because the internet is talking. And it shouldn't be that. Even if it was the bare minimum to make them, look decent in the front of the world or whatever, then do that. But just, excuse me, but just to do things for other people while you all over the place, tricking and allegedly and doing the most with somebody else's husband, and you feel like people don't have the right to speak on it, and now it's come to the point where you put your hands on people, when you go to other people's space in an environment and put your hand on them and think it's okay, and now you out showboating like you don't have consequences waiting at home. Even at Flint, they're over there investigating, allegedly, into you trying to get this house back. That's a few dollars to you. Like, why would you even let that go to the bag? Best friend out here telling everything. She's not telling everything. Y'all better bet that. She's admitted she signed the NDA. That's another reason I ain't going in. I'm not signing nothing. Especially when you know how dark it is and you could possibly see things that need to be told to authorities. Like, that's selling your soul. I don't care what nobody says. I don't care. All of a sudden, no friends. Isolation is a big, big thing. And people go through that over and over in their life. And they isolate themselves from their friends and maybe a few family members they could talk to. And it's because those family members don't even respect themselves enough as leaders of the family to tell you that they disagree with somebody mistreating and abusing and all these different things. Because they want to get what they could get from you too. So they cool with you telling them that you happy because somebody mistreating you. No. So I do feel like the friends that try to tell Claressa something up, she get rid of them because then it takes away her joy. I can't let them see what it really is, and people just do that. And I just feel like people need to, you know, other than her putting her hands on people and stuff like that. When it comes to her papu, she's gonna learn. Need to be the hard way. Need to be in a way that they're never going to show us because people won't show you because they're so embarrassed. They just going to stay there in it and act like it's all good, no matter the disrespect, no matter the nothing. Because now it's come too far and it's embarrassing and it's shameful, especially when you know better. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on, but like I said, it's not on the internet. People go through certain things in real life and people act the same way in real life. They try to convince people that they happy when they miserable, when they living lives of being desperate. You know what I'm saying? People isolate you from your friends and all this stuff. And you that desperate just so you could try to prove something to a past relationship. That's not a healed person. That is a desperate person. That is a person that needs therapy and counseling, allegedly educational purposes only. And it comes a time in your life when your friends don't need to, no longer need to bleed with you. That's all and that's it. Anyway, I don't know what's going on, how many friends, whatever she has left. Sometimes the friends ain't the answer because sometimes friends been through enough themselves and they no longer wish to wallow in the mess. No, that's all and that's it. You got Chrisean getting backlash. She logged on or put a picture out the other day. We know that her fans could put some stuff together allegedly or whatever the case, and she comes forth and she's doing therapy, her own kind of therapy, and people are saying, no ma'am, he needs real help, no ma'am, where's the doctors, no ma'am, where's the therapy, no ma'am, where's the bracelets, no ma'am, where's the... And then you got something that's coming out here saying she's doing her best, leave her alone, blah blah blah. Well, your best will go to get professional help. Do we see that? No. Do we have to see that? No. But people that have been through these situations know what comes included with real help. But people want to make people think they don't know that either. But that's on her. That's between her and God. And I pray that God forbid that the people that is, helping push this stuff, or, trying to help convince people with her that, she's doing her best, and, we don't know. And again, people that have family members that have been through similar issues do know what it requires. But we're gonna pray for the little guy, and prayerfully God will tug on Chrisean's heart and let her understand that doctors are here for a reason. God made doctors to help. Young and May released the fact that she was on the Angela Martinez show, and she was talking about her being sick or whatever. Remember the pictures surfaced and the yellow eyes and so forth and so on. And a lot of people that knows that that's a liver issue. And so on the Angela Martinez show, she said, yeah, she said it was a liver issue. She said that she was drinking and just doing a lot and blocking things out. And I don't believe that nobody drink liquor and be doing the most because they just want to. No, that's just not something I believe. No, even in past lives, and now what I know now in the spiritual realm a lot is the spirit. It's a spirit. It's a spirit. And people do drink and do things to cover up things they don't want to deal with, lifestyles they don't want to deal with. And, for her to come forth and say, yeah, it was a lot going on, and I was dealing with a lot, and I was trying to break away from, remembering or dealing with certain things. And I'm from the same place where Young Ma is, and actually, she was born in Brookdale. That's like up the street, from where I'm from. So, but yeah. In fact, my mom used to work there. I think back in the days or whatever. Anyway, just for her to acknowledge the reasoning that she was doing it, not making excuses. That, she said it started off as for fun, and then, it got really bad. And those that know that Young and May lost her older brother, leave to the streets or whatever the case, and that's something hard to deal with. Those that ever got a phone call and things like that as a young child, of course, it affects you for the long haul of your life. And so I'm just glad that she's finally out. She's finally sharing her story. She spoke about a possible documentary. She said that's way overdue. And I think that it is going to help people for her to tell her story and let these young people know that, yeah, it could start off at fun, but doesn't necessarily mean that your ending is going to be fun. In fact, in a lot of cases, it's just too late. Y'all hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, love on those that love on you, and pray for the world. Peace.